So I was a plumber for nearly 9 years, and now I've been in real estate for just over 2.5 years. So I literally did a 180. I went from being, dirty hands, blue collar guy to pencil pushing, white collar guy. And I would say I have a pretty unbiased perspective when it comes to being a realtor, being that, I've been on one end of the spectrum. Now I'm completely on the other end of the spectrum. And in this video, I'm going to cover the dark side of being a real estate agent that nobody really talks about. I'm Connor Kelly, Vancouver realtor and team leader. On this channel, I teach you guys how to attract more clients using YouTube and just some broad-based self-development stuff to help you improve your life. If you're into that, subscribe to the channel and like this video. Some days I truly miss being a plumber. I miss being able to just turn my brain off and kind of go through the motions and just kind of live my day-to-day on autopilot a lot of the time. I miss waking up and not being instantaneously anxious and stressed out. But at the same time, I was far more unhappy living that life and being comfortable and just going through the motions and feeling like I just didn't really have a purpose overall. But anyway, being a realtor overall is not a hard job when you look at it from purely a technical standpoint. Writing a contract is not rocket science. Booking showings is not rocket science. Meeting your client at the showing is not rocket science. Listing and selling a home is not rocket science. But what makes being a realtor difficult is all of the things that happen in between those actions that you wouldn't know even happen unless you are a realtor. And those small in-between things is the exact reason why the majority of people do not last in this industry. Being a realtor is a super lonely job. You're alone all the time, and when you're alone, you're scrolling through your phone, and all you see on social media is all of the other realtors' wins. Nobody ever posts their loss, and nobody's ever like, offer collapsed, the realtor ended up listing with another realtor and sold without me. Like, everyone only posts the wins, which leads you to comparing yourself to them, and then you just end up feeling like shit most of the time because it just feels like you're the only person losing. Once you enter the world of entrepreneurship, unfortunately, you are not going to relate with a lot of people. Entrepreneurship isn't like getting a new job. It is going to completely transform your entire life. And if you're doing it right, it should completely transform you as a person, and that is going to lead you to growing apart from all of the people you currently have in your current life, which again is going to push you away and make you feel more alone. You are constantly on an emotional roller coaster. It's good news, bad news, good news, then bad news, then really good news, then really bad news. Finally get a client after 100 people telling me no, they ghost me. Finally get a client after 100 people telling me no, they can't get approved for a mortgage. Finally get a listing, finally win the listing appointment because the other 3 listings that I lost as competing against 3 other realtors, that listing doesn't sell. Then they end up taking it off the market. They go behind your back, they relist with another realtor when the market's a little bit better 3 months later, and it sells. It is constant, never-ending low lows and high highs. You are going to go weeks, maybe months at a time with a constant knot of anxiety in your stomach. I often have clients call me bawling their eyes out because they are losing money, or they're getting a divorce, or somebody in the family died, or whatever the case may be. Things are going to happen to your clients during the process of buying or selling a home that are completely out of your control, that ends up, they being the ones that end up suffering for those things. And they're going to blame you for it, even though it's out of your control. And just hope that this doesn't happen with, a longtime friend or family member. People are going to backstab you repeatedly. People that are friends and family are going to go behind your back and use other realtors. Clients that you thought you had developed a great relationship with are going to ghost you, never talk to you again, and you'll never know why. People are going to try and renegotiate the commissions with you after you've already signed the listing and done a month's worth of work to it, and you get an offer in hand. They are now, after you've done all of that work, gonna try and renegotiate commissions with you. The media and probably 25% of people are going to think that you are a pile of shit just for being a realtor. Every seller is gonna want too much money, and every buyer is gonna wanna pay less than market value. But despite all of these things, all of this bull crap you have to endure to do this job. The reality of it is you will never make the money you want to make and live the life you want to live without having to endure these setbacks anyways. Life doesn't get easier, you just get stronger. And just like growing muscles, they can't grow until you tear them down first. Being a realtor is basically just a giant self-development journey that we get paid to embark on. So yes, on paper, being a realtor is easy. However, all of the things that you can't see from the outside looking in, like having emotional fortitude, continuing to push forward despite how you feel each and every day, losing friends and being alone most of the time, setting expectations with people, telling them your home is going to sell for this price, having the balls to tell people that whatever they're thinking is wrong right to their face, but packaging it in a way that it's not disagreeable. Setting that expectation that your offer, Mr. Buyer or Mrs. Buyer, is too low, and if you continue to write things like this, you will not buy a home in this market. Having all those conversations, being confrontational, telling the truth, setting those expectations, all of these things is why most people are gonna fail in this industry. It has nothing to do with writing a frickin' contract. I was broke for the first 2 years in real estate, living out of my line of credit. I was so stressed out and anxious that my testosterone dropped to ridiculously low levels. I lost all my muscle, lost all my weight. I was super skinny. I literally thought that I had cancer. Being a realtor is a very, very difficult path to take in life. But I am so glad that I decided to do it, and I would empower any one of you to do the same thing. Today, I make about 3 to 5 times the amount of money I would have made had I continued doing plumbing. And I'm proud to say that throughout all of the BS I've endured to this point, I have now become the person that I would have looked up to back in my early 20s.